Good afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon. It's 6 o'clock. It's time for Bike Church. I'm going to read some of Ecclesiastes chapter 3. First, I'd like to give y'all a couple of announcements. First of all, there's a lot of things going on in the county you want to keep an eye out for. Check events on Facebook. Not necessarily anything that I've got going on, but there's a lot of things going on. And if you're looking for something to do, there are plenty of things. You just have to know where to look. So that's good. I'm continuing to read the book of John during the week. And I hope to get back to that. Probably get back to that first thing in the morning. I'll be out of town tomorrow afternoon. The Experiencing God study that I have been going to, we wind that up tomorrow night. And y'all, it's been excellent. It's gotten better and better every week. I have seen a big difference in how I relate to God. And I believe anybody that follows that, does that study, will feel the same way. It's excellent. There'll be more classes starting soon with different studies. And if you're interested in learning about those, again, it's with Lifeline Church out of Greenville. And if you are interested in looking for a small group to come along to, if you need something, let me know, and when the new ones come out, I'll let you know what they are. And if we decide to go to the same ones, you're welcome to ride with me as long as I've got room in my vehicle. There's usually at least a couple of people riding with me, but I think I can probably get 6 if we sit real tight. I have 6 seat belts for 6 anyway. So just remember that. It's barreling down on into summer, and I hope y'all are ready for the summertime. There's a lot of things, like I said, there's a lot of things going on. Please make sure that you're saving time to go to church and worship regularly. And no, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. And going to church will not make you a Christian. But Jesus asked us to fellowship together regularly, and that's one of the things that you do when you go to church. You don't just go and sit down. You visit with the people around you. You get to know them. You become friends. My mother-in-law and I were with Jennifer and the baby in church this morning, and I have decided that every person in that church knows Lyra, because they all walk. I mean, they know Jennifer too, but they all walk up and they touch her on the top of the head, or they pat her on the shoulder, or they reach out and chuck under her chin or something, and she knows them. She speaks to them, and she's like, and that's a side effect of going to church, is having fellowship. Plus, you're learning about more about the Bible and about God, and that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be just satisfied where we are. We should always be trying to do better and get better. And yes, you can study on your own, but it helps you when other people give you their input on what Scripture has meant. It's the preacher's job, but it's also Sunday school teachers and just other members. There's lots of reasons to go to church. It's not just to go sit on the pew. There are people there that will benefit from you being there, and you will benefit from some of the other people there. I can't put it any plainer than that. Go to church. It'll make you feel better. I promise. If it don't, I'll give you your money back. So anyway, I'm going to read from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And once I start, I know you will, if you've ever heard anybody read verses from the Bible, this is one that lots of people read. So I know you'll be familiar with it, but it just struck me that it's a good time to read that. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And again, I'm reading from the English Standard Version tonight. It's an excellent translation. The first section is titled, A Time for Everything. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Now, if you are of a certain age, probably maybe a few years younger than me and then on up a little bit older than me, there was a song that was popular during my teenage years that this was the lyrics to it, to everything there is a time, turn, turn, turn. And I was amazed when I found out that was from the Bible, because you didn't think about songs on the radio being from the Bible. Okay, the next section is titled The God-Given Task. What gain has the worker from his toil? I have seen the business that God has given to the children of man to be busy with. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I perceive that there is nothing better for them than to be joyful and to do good as long as they live. Also that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. This is God's gift to man. I perceive that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken from it. God has done it so that people fear before him. That which is already has been. That which is to be already has been, and God seeks what has been driven away. And then the final section is titled From Dust to Dust. Moreover, I saw under the sun that in the place of justice even there was wickedness, and in the place of righteousness even there was wickedness. I said in my heart, God will judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every matter and for every work. I said in my heart with regard to the children of man, that God is testing them, that they may see that they themselves are but beasts. For what happens to the children of man and what happens to the beasts is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beasts, for all is vanity. Now, if you've read Ecclesiastes, you know that's a theme going all the way through. All is vanity. All go to one place. All are from the dust, and to dust all return. Who knows whether the spirit of man goes upward, and the spirit of the beast goes down into the earth? So I saw that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his work, for that is his lot. Who can bring him to see what will be after him? Now, Ecclesiastes is a very interesting book. As far as I can understand, it was written by Solomon. The first verse in it says, the words of the preacher, capital P, the son of David, king of Jerusalem, which tells me it was Solomon, because Solomon was David's son, and he was the king of Jerusalem. And like I said, Ecclesiastes is about all is vanity. We need to serve God because everything here on earth is vanity. In other words, it's a whim. It's a breath of air. It's nothing that the stuff here on earth is not going to last. If you're going to store things up, you better be storing things up in heaven, because the things here on earth are not going to last. God has appointed us all a time to live and a time to die, and that's what I just read. He has appointed each of us a job, like it or not. And the best way to be content in who you are and what you are is to be doing what God has given you to do. He has put in you the things that you love and those things are related to what you're supposed to be doing. And I mean, if you love helping people, then you're supposed to be helping people in some form or fashion. God has given it to you. If you like teaching, guess what? Then you're supposed to be teaching. If God has given you a desire to tell other people about Jesus, then that's what you're supposed to be doing. God has given us, He created us and made us the way that we are. And the things that He has given us, the jobs He's given us, and like I said, the things that we enjoy, He gave us those things. And He did that so that we would use those things to honor Him and do what He wants us to do. And you can't be any more plain than that. God's got something for you to do. You need to find out what it is and be at it. I hope y'all had a great weekend. Like I said, I did. I'm planning a great week this week, and I hope you are too. If you are interested in attending the next set of small groups, if you will let me know, as I said before, if you'll let me know, I'll be glad. As soon as they come out with what's going to be going on, I will get up with you and say, this is what's going on, and this is where and when. And of course, there are other churches in the area that do small groups. I'm not trying to take away from anybody else. I just have been to the ones at Lifeline, and they're always excellently done. The literature that we use is good, and the teachers are good, and it's the groups themselves are good. And you don't get assigned to a group; you choose which one you want to attend. But I would say this: you would benefit from being a part of that. It's kind of like short-term Sunday school, except it's not on Sunday morning necessarily. So let me know, and I'll be glad to let you know when I find out. I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all are careful. It's starting to turn warm weather. Be careful in the heat. Don't get overheated. Make sure you stay hydrated, and make sure you stay safe. See y'all soon.